Joining us now with reaction is former OMB Director and White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and former Treasury Department official Monica Crowley. We have the A-team in for the A block. Good to see you both. Thanks for being here. Monica, let me start with this Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which was kind of used, let's be honest, like a political slush fund by the president before election in order to get gas prices down. That's not what the thing was meant for in the first place, is it?
No, that's exactly right. In fact, the SPR was established for national emergencies, things like war and economic catastrophe. It was not meant to be used and abused by presidents or politicians for political gain. And yet that's exactly what we saw the Biden administration do. It brought down gas prices temporarily and only marginally. But, you know, this administration's war on domestic production continues. I mean, they've made no changes whatsoever to their policies. Day one, he stopped the Keystone Pipeline. He has waged war on oil and natural gas production. The United States is sitting on more energy reserves than any other nation on the face of the earth, including Russia and Saudi Arabia and so on. And yet they refuse to get it out onto the ground into Americans' gas tanks and homes, etc., and on the world market as well. They refuse to do it. So we are now back to where we were before Donald Trump made us energy independent.
I want to talk more about what we have that we are not using, that we could use even much more cleanly than the foreign oil that we're using instead. But Mick, again, sticking with the strategic reserve, we have used up, he's drawn down about half of it since he's been president. Over the past 12 months, he drew down 40% of it. We only have, at that rate, we only have about a year, a little more than a year to go before it's all gone. I mean, this is a danger for the United States. If there really is an emergency and we run out of oil and we need it here, we're not going to have it.
And that's to Monica's point, right? Which is that it's designed to protect against real international sort of emergencies. It was created after the oil embargo of the 1970s. So if something were to happen tomorrow, and for some reason we couldn't get oil that we needed, or other countries couldn't get oil that they need, we're in a real weak position. Keep in mind, David, there's another aspect to this, which is that has been a slush fund for a long time. You can go back and find dozens of Democrat bills over the last 2 years that use the money they're going to generate from selling that oil to pay for Democrat spending. Of course, you can't do that 5 and 6 different times. So there's all sorts of abuses in this Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It's going to cost us a fortune to refill it. We need to refill it for security reasons. But it's just another bad decision by the Biden administration.
By the way, another thing we're doing with it is selling it to China. China's bought a few million barrels, and they can be reselling it. I mean, they're essentially making money off of the oil that we sell to them.
But keep in mind, David, that actually can change. One of the first bills that Kevin McCarthy's new House majority passed was to stop the sales of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to Chinese corporations. That passed with an overwhelming bipartisan majority. So there's a chance for that to change if the Democrat Senate would take that up. But that bill's already passed the House.
So, Monica, you talked about the oil we have here. McKinsey & Company, which is not known as a conservative outfit at all, they came out with this report suggesting that we could get 2 million extra barrels a day. That would be an enormous increase just by drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. And by the way, the oil in the Gulf of Mexico is cleaner. It has fewer emissions, about half as many emissions as most of the oil that we get from other basins. Not only are we not doing that, extending our production of oil from the Gulf, but they're talking about cutting back in the Gulf. I mean, it's just exactly the opposite of what we could be doing. Instead, we're getting dirtier oil from Venezuela and places like that.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, if you thought how an administration could really put the United States on its back heel economically, and in particular with the energy sector, this is it. I mean, you could not come up with any other strategy than this, actually selling our reserves to our premier enemy, China, and then not doing the kind of drilling and exploration that we should be doing here at home, and which Donald Trump and his administration gave the green light to and got us to energy independence. Look, I think there's a broader narrative here, David, which is not strictly just limited to what we're seeing the administration do. But we know that they have a broader agenda, which is this great reset. It's about re-engineering the West and certainly re-engineering the U.S. economy. And the biggest lever that they have available to them to do that is the energy sector. And that's why, defying all common sense, they continue to attack that sector, because it's going to get them to a more collectivist, socialist kind of economic model.
Mick, you've got 30 seconds to solve the debt crisis. We've almost run out of time, but we got to end up with it. How is that going to end up?
We'll raise it eventually, but there will be a negotiation. The Democrats have to negotiate. They've always negotiated. I'm not sure where Biden is getting this attitude about not negotiating. He was actually heavily involved in the last major negotiation. So there will be some reforms. I don't think there'll be big spending reductions because the Democrats control the White House and the Senate. But the Republican majority in the House will get something as part of this negotiation. The debt ceiling will be raised and things will move a little bit in the right direction.
By the way, you'll both be very happy to know that the president just said that he has never been more optimistic about the economy. Just so you know, so there's no need to worry. You can sleep soundly tonight. That's what the president is saying. Good to see you both. Good way to start the week. Thanks very much.